Well, hi and welcome to my beautiful office. I have turned my back on the most versatile camera you could ever own, camcords, and I've gone to the dark side, over to a mirrorless cinema camera. So I had the XF605 for a very short time, tested the living daylights out of it, decided the image quality and the noise that it had right throughout every lighting condition wasn't good enough for me. I had to sell it at a great loss to get rid of it, but I was lucky enough that I bought the R5c for a similar price that I sold mine for. I've always loved camcords. They're just so versatile. You just pick them up, you go into the forest, you start filming, and everything's so quick and easy. You can't forget anything except for two things, and that's leaving the CF card in the card reader at home and not charging the batteries. Otherwise, everything's built in. So for the R5c, you've got to buy all this extra equipment and try and remember to make sure it's in the bag before you head out in the forest. So yes, for me, it's all about wildlife, photographing and filming wildlife. For today, we don't have all the accessories to be able to film properly in the real high qualities. So a CF Express card, I'm still waiting on it, but I have a high-end SD card, and I'm filming myself with the R5c right now. So I'm limited to lower Kodaks, but we'll see how that is working with this right now. Should be very low noise in this horrible lighting conditions, and we got this for weeks and weeks to come. I've had it for months. So what we're going to do today, because I can't film properly, we'll leave that for another review, another video for the filming side, and we'll just focus on photographing wildlife. So I'm going to walk through my reserve over the next couple of days, taking photographs in this sort of horrible lighting conditions. It's early morning. It's not fog, it's misty stuff because it's been raining for so long. I've got a short break and it's going to start raining again in the afternoon. So we'll just wander around and see what we can get and see how good 45 megapixels are, because I've only ever had 20 megapixels in the past with all my cameras. Let's get into photographing, testing this camera out thoroughly in horrible lighting conditions. This image of the eastern whipbird has taken me 10 years to get. They have been so elusive. They follow you around in the forest, teasing you, or teasing me, jump up onto a branch, but there's twigs and stuff in front of its face. So getting any shot of them has been extremely difficult. But to get one finally after 10 years that best represents its true character, beautiful. Thank you very much to the eastern whipbird for that. It was well worth waiting for. All right, so my results as far as photographing in terrible lighting conditions. I think we've got to give a thumbs up to the R5c. Comparing it against the R6, which I'm filming myself with right now, low light king, it's pretty good at that. It's at least 20% better as far as noise in the background and on the subject, and at least 10% more detail at 6,400. So that's the limit. I won't go over that. That's actually really pushing the boundaries of ISO as far as the R5c goes and the R5.6. It's not something I do very often. But anyway, it has done a little bit better job than the R6, that is for sure. So it's something I could, a couple of those images I've shown you, I could actually be happy enough to print one out and put it up on my wall. Would have to go into a program like DxO. I have DxO Lab. That does a pretty good job at just getting rid of all of the noise when it's, you know, not extreme. It's very good at high levels. So I think if we put it into there, that would be a really, really acceptable image. Right, so coming down to the lower high ISOs, like I consider 4000 quite high, we start to lose colour information, especially greys. So comparing it with the R6, no difference there. It's dropping off, it's getting more washed out as we go along. But overall, I've been impressed with it, and it just works that little bit better. Because we got more megapixels, we get that little bit more detail. So yeah, big tick for me. All right, so those images, all I have done with them as far as processing goes is I've taken them into Digital Professional and allowed its noise reduction to work, which is okay for low levels of noise. So the way they've come out, you can just see a little bit in the background getting up, you know, over 5000. But it's done a reasonable job because this does so well at those high ISOs anyway. So all I did in there is just let that go, and then I've changed it to a 16-bit TIFF file, taken it into Photoshop, and then, you know, stretched out the image. I haven't cropped it, I've just grabbed the corner and pulled out, zoomed in on the subject so you could see the detail and everything a lot better. Then I've just applied a bit of brightness, just to brighten it up and make it look a little better for YouTube. That's all I've done. I've just exported it out as a JPEG, and that's all we have done. With focusing in a forest environment and dimly lit, it's done pretty well, just as good as the R6. The R6 has impressed me a lot over the time that I've had it in a forest environment. The only difference I'm seeing is with the cases. With the R6, I always come back to using auto. Try everything, and nothing really looks like it's really doing much at all. Auto just seems to work that little bit better. But with the R5c, I've sort of been stuck on case 3, like I used to be with the 7D Mark II. That used to work really well in the forest environment. It's much more responsive than auto going to case 3 in my forest environment, in this sort of lighting conditions at least. Anyway, very quick and responsive. So we have some negatives to go through. The first one is this stupid little cap. That, I'm going to lose it. There's nothing holding it. There's no resistance there at all. So I've got to come up with some solution. I might maybe put a little bit of glue and then brush it down and let it dry, and try that to make it thicker is what I'm thinking of doing. Just making it thicker so that I don't lose it. We've got to protect those terminals that are in this new hot shoe. And you know, I work outside in a little bit of drizzle. I don't want to have any problems with circuitry getting stuffed because we get a little bit of water on it. So yeah, got to do something about that. The other big negative that I've had while I've been going around the last 2 days is the EVF freezing. Now in the R6, it would freeze randomly, but only when I'll have eye detect on a subject and I'm waiting for it to fly. So bird on a branch, you know it's going to fly at any minute and you're just waiting. So if you go over 30 seconds or up to 30 seconds, holding that eye detect button down, that's when it'll freeze randomly. It doesn't do it every time, but you can expect it to happen. So I'd have to keep taking it off, let it rest for a while, and then as I see it start to move, or think it's going to fly, then I would go back onto it. But it will do it at some stage. So with this one, it would freeze. So I'm turning it on and starting to lift it up to my face, keeping my eye on the subject. And as I'm getting the EVF closer to my eye, I see it freeze. So it's not instant, but it's not very long after you turn it on. So you don't even get the opportunity to press the focus button. It's locked, frozen. So, I went online and had a look at everyone else has been complaining about it, and apparently it's been fixed in a firmware update, I should say, which I loaded up late last night, so I haven't even tried it yet. So hopefully that's not an issue anymore. I can't see it completely going, because with the R6, when I bought it, I had no issues with EVF freezing until I got the firmware that was supposed to fix it. Then it started happening. All right, so enough of that. The R6 and the R5c startup time is exactly the same. So we're seeing this camera being a really, really good wildlife photography camera. It's looking just as good as the R6, but we get that little bit, we double our image quality. There is one more negative before we move on. With the R6 monitor, why is there no fingerprints on the back screen? I've touched it, moving focus points around, going on the menu, doing all sorts of things that you normally do with a touch screen, and I can't see any fingerprints. But with this one, straight away, my first touch of it, there's this big thumbprint sticking on it. I think, what is the difference between these two? Canon have obviously put a coating on. When I first bought it, I thought there was a bit of plastic on there or something, but there wasn't. With this, it's not the same. Why? Why didn't I get the same as the R6? It's bloody amazing. I have never cleaned it. I keep looking at it on different angles. It doesn't need clean. So that's, another negative. But anyway, right. So let's move on quickly and have a look at the images that I took yesterday when shafts of light came out for a couple of minutes or, even a few seconds, and the bird landed on the branch just at the right time. Forgot to mention battery life. When you're photographing, there are no issues here at all. You can go on all day with one battery. It's just as good as the R6, maybe even better. I'll have to test that one day. But for now, big thumbs up to Canon. There are no issues here when you're photographing as far as battery life goes. So that's all we're going to do for today. A quick test in crappy lighting. It has passed with flying colours as a wildlife photography camera. Really happy with it so far. Yeah, it's going to serve me really, really well. And I'm really looking forward to filming with it. I've already been impressed with the start of this video. I used it to film myself at crappy lighting conditions. At its lowest Kodak, which is equal to the XF400's only Kodak, in wide dynamic range mode, it outperformed my expectations. I thought it might be a little bit more noisy than it was, but you can just see the noise in the background, very, very soft. Full frame, yeah, absolutely kicked the butt of the XF605 in image quality. Yes, it's a bigger sensor, 1 inch, full frame. That's a big difference. But I'm already seeing that, yeah, it is a far better quality image than I ever expected with low quality. So it's Tuesday today. If I can get this out tomorrow, I will on Wednesday. But Thursday, I'm heading back up to Winter Wetlands. The weather's looking great, and I've got to ring up tomorrow. Fingers crossed that I can get in all right, as it's not flooded out. And then we're going to test out the video capabilities if my CF card has turned up tomorrow. Hopefully it does. I still need the battery solution that's on its way. That won't be until next week though. It took me a while to find one. So yeah, I've only just bought that a couple of days ago, so I'll have to wait for that. That is something I desperately have to have for this camera. External battery power. Hope you enjoyed this little look at the Canon R5c for photographing wildlife in horrible lighting conditions. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel and get more of this amazing stuff, click on my pretty little face just down in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Hit the little bell. You'll get notification whenever I do anything else. And if you really like this video, it'd be awesome if you give me the thumbs up. Help my poor little channel grow. If you want to go and have a look at all the other mad and crazy things I've been doing in the past, click on my icon right here at the end of this video. Take you to my channel. I talk about photographing and filming in a forest environment. When I go on adventures, I always take you with me. And when I buy cameras and camera accessories, I give you my honest opinion on them. So go and have a browse. There'll be something there of interest to you, I am sure. And just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.